Welcome back. So we have this service now, but now we know that we might end up having no image data, no image metadata because of the way we just set up our add product right here, where it might be undefined. If any of this fails, we'll send back an undefined image right here. So let's try in our product service to try and handle that. And we'll do it very simply for now. We'll just say if there is image metadata, and I would even say if the image metadata has some kind of file meta, because I want that. And I could go further, I could say I expect that that file meta has at least a name and a type, right? And you can see, I could keep going here. Let's just do a few more. Image metadata needs to have file meta with a type. That's at least the minimum right now for me to create a file. Size is not a part of it, but I could keep going right here. And I can even add one more here. And I could say, I also expect the image data to have either, let's just put a parenthesis here because I want to say either the image data dot image blob should be there, or the image data dot base64 image should be there as a minimum again to make this happen. And if all of this kind of succeeds, then the next thing is I'm going to return this guy right here, the pipe. But if this fails, if I don't get through all these areas, I'm going to throw an exception. So I'll do an else statement right here, and I'll just throw error right here. There we go. And in the error, I'm going to explain that something you need better metadata. Now, of course, this could be a lot more specific. I could actually point out exactly what's wrong in the metadata if I just made some better validations. But this time, we're just going to make it simple and see how this is going to work. Actually, we don't even need the else statement, but let's just keep it there to make it simpler to read. Let's try and jump into our program right here and just clear the console, and let's try and add something here, worm, and let's just try and, I'm not going to choose any file this time, and that should throw an error. And there we go, I get an error, you need better metadata. If I go in and choose a file, everything would work again. But again, I've already got myself a little bit here to make sure that you actually choose a file. And now I could kind of go a step further if I wanted to. I could try catching my results and try to figure out if there was an error, etc., etc. So this opens up for a lot of possibilities. You can throw errors like this to kind of explain to the system something went horribly wrong, and you can then start listening for those errors if you want to and kind of handle your software. And when we start testing this, it makes a lot of sense now. When you add a product, you can test now that if you send in something that's not correct, you should get this error back, right? I can do the same with product, of course. I can say if the product doesn't contain all the data that I expect, I can throw an error. So you can't even add the product, right? And now we have two different functions. We have one where we can add product without picture, and we have another where we kind of need an image to add the product. And of course, we could also just say if there's no image data, just pass it onwards and just create the product without the picture. But that would be another, just another way to handle this data. And I've decided that my products, they need to come with an image. So the final thing I could do to kind of explain that is make this private. So it's only allowed inside the service to add a product. Nobody from the outside can now use the service to add products. They can only go through the product with image. And that's just, again, a business decision I make that I want products to contain an image. So that's it for this lesson. Now you guys just expanded with a small part of error handling, and we can dive more into this when we get into the testing phase. Have fun, see you next time.